What it do, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I am very excited to bring you guys my favorites of 2022. Now, I believe it was earlier this week or last week, I already uploaded my disappointments of 2022, and it was interesting reading those comments. I know some people felt like, I picked things that were purposely not going to work on me. It's not true. I pick things that I hope and actually believe are going to work for me. And when they don't, I'm disappointed, but I can always find a different way to use them. It's just more of using the product as it's been presented to me by itself. But regardless though, today is all going to be good vibes because these are all things that I really enjoyed throughout the year. I did try my absolute best to find products that I literally bought this year. I may have missed a couple of things and some things maybe slipping through that I bought late last year or something, but I'm pretty sure I did good. Again, I just really need to film this video because I keep having to hunt in here to get my everyday products, and that's not cute. That's not cute. If you're wondering what's going on with my face, I did film this. We do have a wear test going on right now, and it's with this foundation. I couldn't help it. I could not help it. And honestly, I'm blaming you guys as well because my survey, it jumped. So there may be quite a few foundation reviews coming on my channel very soon, but you guys seem just as interested as I am in all of the new foundations. So it is what it is. But with that said, if you're interested in hearing about some of my favorites from 2022, let's get to it. Santa Claus is a black man. Santa Claus is a black man, and his handsome like my daddy too. Santa Claus is a black man. Santa Claus is a black man, and I found out that's why I'm telling you. Okay, I was going to try to do a rhyme or reason, and I don't know how effective that is going to be, but let's still try. And if we slip up on a couple of things, then we slip up on a couple of things. Okay, so I think there's only one primer in this lot as far as face primer, and that's actually from Mircrosmooth. So this is a primer that I just bought during the middle of this year, and this is her Yummy Skin Universal. I think this is a fantastic primer. Very nice. It doesn't necessarily grip the product, but I find that it really helps to keep my oils at bay, which is of course a good thing. If I could cheat, technically I did just receive the Milk makeup. We're gonna cheat. I really like this one, right? But if you want something that is more gripping in action, then I'm going to recommend the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip. I technically received this year, so it can be in my favorites for the year. I've been loving it the whole year. It's been in my project pan. It's gotten so much use. These are definitely two primers that I would say if you need a primer and you're willing to spend some money, try them both. I know you can get a mini in the Milk. I don't think Mircrosmooth has a mini right now for her product, but you can always find samples or something. I feel like you can always get a sample of her products somehow, some way. Then we have just one foundation, although I feel like in these last couple of days of 2022, I'm going to be having a couple more favorites coming here and there. And if I had to add another favorite, okay, let me add one more favorite because I could add this. I was just trying to be very strategic, but let's do it. Okay, so the first foundation favorite for me is actually from Haus Labs. This is their Trioclone Skin Tech Foundation. I absolutely love this foundation. I have this in the shade 480. It is very much a skin-like finish, although I think there is definitely a little bit more radiance to it, but it's the perfect amount for somebody of my type. I do find that I need to powder with this particular foundation, and you will see that that comes into play comparing it to some others that I will be doing in the future, but it's a really nice foundation. Highly recommend. I have a BC cream that I want to recommend, and this is actually from Yensa. So if you follow Lauren May Beauty, I know you've heard about this particular product, and I had to try it because she kept recommending it. So I made the plunge. I purchased it once, and I would recommend waiting because I feel like right after I purchased it, the actual site went on a better deal. But regardless though, This is in, I believe, Deep Warm. Really like this foundation. It is very much a nice coverage, medium coverage foundation, very natural finish going on, and it's just really nice. If you're somebody who likes to wear foundation every day, particularly in the summer, but you still want some coverage, this is definitely one for you. Although I find that you don't have to wear this in the summer. I do appreciate the sunscreen, and even with the sunscreen, I did not have any problems with this in any flashback or just like having a weird coloring once it was applied. So definitely a solid foundation. And then the last foundation I'm actually going to recommend is from Makeup Forever. I feel like a lot of people haven't actually been talking about this foundation after it launched and like people tried it out. I really liked this foundation. This is their HD reimagined in the shade 4N68. The reason I didn't talk nearly as much about this on my particular channel is because I love the House Labs. Don't get me wrong, this is a fantastic foundation. But unfortunately, I tried it out during a very similar time, I think even the same month as the House Labs. So it just couldn't get as much praise. But this actually is a really good foundation. And sometimes you have to kind of go through the weeds of your collection to remember those good ones. But this is definitely a solid and good foundation. Okay, not too many concealers I want to talk about, but these are both ones that I received this year, I do believe. So the first one that I want to talk about is actually from Dior. I believe I got this year. If not, I got it late last year, but this is the Backstage in 5N. I really like this concealer. I actually have it on today. It has that like skin-like natural-ish finish. Once again, back to that medium coverage. I do love their Backstage foundation. I believe people said that they're actually discontinuing that range, which is very unfortunate if that is valid. I'm not gonna run out to get another foundation, although maybe I should. Who knows what's going to happen in the next couple of days. But I very much love this concealer. Very good. If you want a cheaper alternative, I definitely would recommend you checking out the Sephora Best Skin Ever concealer. I haven't tried the foundation of this range, but I have tried a couple other Sephora brand concealers and I've enjoyed them. And because I heard so many people raving about the foundation in this range and I needed another concealer, I decided to go ahead and pick this one up. This one is in the shade 50N. I really like it. It has a nice feeling to it. It is very chunky doe foot. When you apply it, it's nice. It's not overly thick. It's kind of that nice medium consistency, good coverage, good feel. I feel like this does give off a more natural, radiant finish, and as you can see, that is definitely something that I prefer in my base products. So yeah, very happy to have picked this up, and I cannot wait to get even more use out of that. When it comes to like powders, honestly, I don't have any powders, not like face setting powders. I guess I could talk about the Dior one, but I don't believe I picked that up this year, so that's why I did not mention it. I just did not pick up any powders this year really that I enjoyed, so that's why yeah, that's why. Okay, keep it going. I have so many cheek products, so I'm going to try to do kind of more things outside of that, and then we'll end with the cheek products. Let's go into brows. I only have 2 brow products to mention, and they are both kind of one-off products. So I have the Too Faced Fluff and Hold Laminating Brow Wax. Right now, this is my go-to, if I could go to it, brow wax. Right now I'm trying to actually finish up the NYX brow wax because I don't like that as much, but this is fantastic. This really gives you that nice fluffy brow effect. You don't actually need as much product as actually comes out on the applicator. I tend to scrape off the excess, and then on that same side that I scraped, that's the side that I actually apply to my brows, and my brows are set. I really like this brow wax. Highly recommend. And then in addition to that, I also would recommend this from Benefit. This is their Gimme Brow Volumizing Pencil in the shade 4.5. I really like this brow pencil. It really gives like a texture and a thickness to my brows that my brows really don't have. They have a nice shape, but they don't really have a thickness to them. And this really gives it to it. I really like this. I find that you also don't have to sharpen the actual brow pencil all that much, which is very nice as well. So I get to have a longer longevity of a product in my collection. So I would really, really recommend those two brow products. I want to get some other kind of random products out of the way. I have two mascaras that I would recommend wholeheartedly. One from the drugstore, one from Sephora, or yeah, I think this is only available at Sephora. The one from Sephora I actually didn't technically pay for. It came in my Sephora box. This is from Rare Beauty. This is their volumizing mascara. I really, really like this mascara. Fantastic mascara. Highly recommend it. I find that it not only gives my lashes volume, but it also gives it a nice amount of length, and it's really, really nice and black, which I do appreciate. The drugstore alternative is actually from Maybelline. This is the Sky High in Blackest Black. I find that it is very, very comparable to that Rare Beauty. I actually think I might give this to my cousin. I want to give her like a nice little collection of products, and since I haven't opened it and I have that one, it's all good. I can definitely get another mascara from Maybelline with my points from Ulta, because I think I'm gonna make one last order before the end of my birthday month. So yeah, that's a good thing. I'm glad I'm doing this. I'm gonna give that to her. I gotta find my little stash for her and add that to it. Anyways though, another kind of lash product, I have to recommend these, of course, are the Miami style lashes from Lily Lashes. These are the first lashes I ever bought. I only bought these from Sephora this year for the first time because they were like for $10, and I was like, why not? Let me give these lash things another shot. And I've been wearing lashes now for like maybe 6 months, and I feel like I've gotten really good at applying them and getting them on for only having them for 6 months. Highly recommend this. You can get a lot of uses out of them. I feel like I'm on like maybe easily the 15th application for this particular set, and it takes a while for me to actually finally say, okay, it's time for me to let them go. I was close to that today, but I was able to finesse them on my eyes, so we're gonna keep going. But highly recommend. Wait till they go on sale. They almost always go on sale for $10, especially if you get the styles of the Miami lashes that are collaboration with the Sephora. That's the sets that you really got to go for. Okay, some other miscellaneous. I have two eyeliners I want to highly recommend. These are actually from Kaledios. These are their multi-chrome eyeliners. I actually really like these because not only do they work on your lid, like on your eyes, like in your eyeshadow or whatever, I also think these really work nicely in your waterline. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I see the actual multi-chrome effects of all the colors in my waterline, but they apply beautifully in the waterline without me having to finesse around one thing or another. So that's why I want to recommend these. I really like them. And if you want something that is a twofer that you can apply in your waterline and on your lid without any issues, I definitely would recommend that liner. Okay, one eye primer. Of course, it's going to be from About Face. I've really been enjoying this eye primer. I find that it not only allows the eyeshadow to kind of do what it do, but it also does not take very long for me between application and applying the eyeshadow for the primer to like dry out and kind of give me that base. Whereas some of the other primers that I've used previously, you have to kind of let the eyeshadow primer like dry out. And I don't particularly like that. When I'm going to be putting eyeshadow on, I need to just put it on and go. So I really like this eyeshadow primer. I have absolutely no idea how much product I have left, but I really do enjoy it. Two lip products that I got a lot of use out of, and I actually need to get these out of here because I was looking for them both like today. So this one is actually from Tower 28. This is in the shade Chill. Technically, I think I brought this into my collection very late last year, but this is their clear lip gloss, and I have very little product left. As you can see, it's like less than the actual doe foot on that side, but when it is like stood up, I want to say it's like somewhere very low down here. I have this actually in my top drawer, and I will just top off whatever lip color I'm using with this, and I find that it's just a beautiful formula. Not overly sticky, not overly gloppy. It gives you the shine that you want, and you're good to go. So I really like this product. I don't particularly need to repurchase it for me because I do have some other shades, and I think they'll give me basically the same thing because I typically have a brown lip color, so I don't necessarily need the clear, but if I get through all three of the shades that I do have, I could definitely see me repurchasing at least one shade from the brand. Another lip product that I feel like I've gotten a lot of use out of this year is actually from Lunar Beauty. This is his lip oil. This particular shade is Dare Me, although there's not really a coloring to it, so feel free to get whatever one you want. It's particularly about like the smell that you get, the differences, but I feel like there is very little product left. I put this next to my bedside, and pretty much every night before I go to bed, or even when I'm just chilling, I just apply this right onto my lips, and it just gives me that little bit of moisturized feel to it. I really like this lip oil because I find most lip oils, they kind of evaporate off your lips, whereas this one has enough stick to it that it actually lasts for a decent amount of time, whereas you get that longevity that you would get from a lip gloss, but you get more nourishment. Most lip glosses aren't going to nourish your lips, right? Whereas a lip oil will. So I really like this lip oil. I haven't picked up any more just because I don't necessarily need to, but I could see me definitely repurchasing that, if not buy more shades in the future if he comes out with more shades that actually give you a tint to it. That one, you know, like I said, doesn't really give you a tint. Okay, pretty much everything else are cheek products and eyeshadows. So let's run through the cheek products first. I only have one bronzer that I want to recommend from this year, and this is a cream bronzer, and this is from ABH. This is in the shade Hazlenut. This is her cream bronzer. Absolutely love this shade, this formula, everything about it. I mean, I can't recommend this any more than I already have. Yeah, absolutely love it. If you are somebody who wants a yellow undertone to your cream bronzer, I would say check her range out. It's a very unique undertone that I have not found in any other cream bronzer range. Okie dokie. Another cream product, or a product that has a cream product in it, is from One Size. This is their cheek clapper in the shade Fire Starter. This is a nuisance. This is a recent purchase for me, but I really like it. The shade variety and the formula is just fantastic. I love that this cream blush is so pigmented that I literally don't even have to top it off with this unless I want to like dry it out, if you will. Either that, or I could do like my translucent powder to kind of make it set, but this is fantastic. I can't wait to explore this brand more in 2023 because I definitely want to. They've had some bangers for me this year, and I definitely I need to check the brand out. I need to. Another cream product that I want to recommend is actually from Huda Beauty. This is the Love Fest cream blush in the shade Burning Cherry. Absolute love. There's no rhyme or reason to get around it. This is fantastic formula. I really love this formula. Unfortunately, this is only available on the Huda Beauty website, which is very unfortunate, but it is a fantastic formula. And if you're already on the website, I would say check this range out. To my knowledge, there's only 2 shades, but check it out. Check it out. I'm telling you, check it out. Okay, the last things in my little basket on my lap, one is a highlighter from One Size, and this is the Fantasia highlighter. It is actually the highlighter that I have on my cheeks today. I've been reaching for this pretty much nonstop since I opened up the packaging. I was able to get it for a really nice sale. That's why I bought it, but so happy I did. This is fantastic. It's beautiful. I really like it. I think that this brand should definitely come out with single pan highlighters outside of this collaboration because I think they could really do well in Sephora. Then I have 2 more highlighters, and they are both from Odin's Eye. Odin's Eye came out with a range of highlighters and of blushes, and I have 2 highlighters that I want to particularly recommend. So if you want something that is more unique, I would tell you to go for this baby. This is Warm Sunshine. It's like a yellow based highlighter. These are more of a translucent finish, so I find that they can really work on a variety of skin tones, but this one I feel goes from like a yellow to like a pinky reddy tone, purple, very pretty. And then the other one that I would recommend is kind of like a more typical one. This, I think, in my opinion, is a little bit more frostier and like metallic than the Warm Sunshine. This one is in Rose Sky. This is more of a typical like peachy purpley tone, but these are really beautiful packaging, of course, but also beautiful actual application and products. I have done videos on pretty much all of this stuff, so if you're interested, just search my channel and you can see applications of them on my complexion. I have two more like single products that I want to recommend, and the one is from Pat McGrath. Oh my goodness, I keep forgetting things and I keep having to get up to get them because where are they? Okay, so I got a couple more things that I need to recommend. So anyways, blush wise, when it comes to Pat McGrath, I absolutely love this blush from Pat McGrath. I absolutely love this duo toned blush range. I have two from her range, one that is more of a neutral tone, and then this one. I would recommend this one over the more neutral one because at this point you have a neutral blush, right? You don't have something as unique as this, and these both shades are unique, and then blending them together, once again, you get a very unique shade on your cheeks. I find that her formula is quite pigmented, blendable. It is a matte finish in case you don't like that, but overall it's not like a dry matte, so I find that it still works with my like more luminous foundations and such. So really love that one. I also want to go ahead and recommend another blush, and this one is from Odin's Eye as well. This is in Orange Sunny. Although this is not the one that has the more satin finish to it, this is the darker of the two blushes, and that's why I want to recommend it. So very good formula. I wish that they would give out with a bigger range, more deeper shades overall, but I do like the range nonetheless. So when I was talking about Pat McGrath, I realized I didn't have either or any of her highlighters in this collection to recommend, which is just stupid. So I have two that I want to recommend. I'm pretty sure I got them both this year. This is her holiday highlighter, the Venetian Nude, and then I also have the Incandescent Gold 02. Both of these are favorites for me. Absolutely recommend them. I believe this was with the very first Bridgerton collection. I don't even remember when that happened, but either way, I just want to recommend in general her highlighters. I do have yet another highlighter from her on the way because I just really like her highlighters, and I think overall her cheek products are really where you should purchase if you have to purchase something from her range. Two cheek palettes that I want to recommend that I picked up this year. These both released this year. I could recommend so many others, but these are two bangers that I want to go ahead and recommend. So one is from Hourglass. If you want something that is more of a skin-like finish application and you get a variety of shades and kind of options, this would be the option that I would recommend. This is the actual Tiger palette in here. And then if you want something that has more of a subtle finish, so you're not going to get nearly as pigmented. There's pigment, but it's not as pigmented. It's also a little bit more laid back. So think a little bit more on the matte side of things. Then that's when I would recommend this Hourglass palette. I think unfortunately this is already discontinued because it already sold out, but yeah, that's what I would do. I also did get the Hourglass Volume 3 Ambient palette. That one is also beautiful as well. I just figured that one doesn't have as much variety as the Hourglass palette that I just recommended. And I believe that particular palette is still available for you to pick up. That's why I wanted to recommend that one. Okay, so we are winding down to the last couple of things, and we are only going to be talking about eyeshadow palettes. Okay, I had to take a mini break, so I apologize, but hopefully I'm somewhat in the same like formatting. Anyways, the first eyeshadow palette that I want to talk about today is actually the gateway drug to Adept Cosmetics for me, and this was the Heather Austin and Adept collaboration palette. This is such a beautiful palette. The greeny tones, the neutrals, the shimmers. I love every choice that she made for this palette. I appreciate that she put 4 mattes in here. I wish there was a couple more, but that's just my personal preferences. Either way though, absolutely love this palette, and because of it I have grown to very much enjoy Adept Cosmetics. Next, let's go off with another one-off palette, and this is from Glaminatrix Cosmetics. This is their Nearly Natural palette, or neutral. I always say that wrong. It's It's the Nearly Natural palette. Okay. And I really appreciate this for a couple of different reasons. It brings some of my favorite formulations from them, which are these interesting metallics, but you also get a fantastic matte formula. This metallic formula that they put in this particular palette is metallic enough and has enough of that like safe glitter in there that it's beautiful, but it also is not so softly pressed that it shatters very easily. So I really love this particular formula. I hope that they continue to move forward with a very similar formulation to what is in this particular palette. Very much happy to have it. Can't wait to get even more use out of it in the future. Then we have one last one off, and then the last brand actually has 3 palettes in this ranking collection, whatever you want to call it. So it is actually a Natasha Denona palette. I know I just so recently showcased this, but I have been enjoying this palette. This is her My Dream palette. Out of all of the new palettes, the older palettes that I somehow found that I have brought into my collection, this is the one that I would say check her out. Now, I don't have some of the palettes that are very similar to this in tone. This is the one that I have that is very much this like rosy-ish tone. There is one that I saw somebody did a collection video and I was like, oh, that's cute too. But I'm very happy to have this nonetheless. Yeah, very much happy. Hopefully I can do some more looks on my channel for you all. But yeah, that's the My Dream palette from Natasha Denona. So I'm gonna get the 2 that are no longer available out of the way. I know you guys know what's coming up next. You know it. It's from Odin's Eye. This is the Merry Christmas palette, and this is the Christmas Eve palette. Now, those 2 you can no longer get anymore, so I do very much apologize for putting them in here. But if I have to be true to myself, those truly are top ranked products that I genuinely enjoyed this year. And it's just disappointing and saddening that unfortunately they didn't release any more production of the product. The last product that I want to talk about today in this roundup of favorite products from 2022 is actually the Soul Mom 2 palette. If I had to tell you one collection I would recommend you checking out from Odin's Eye, I would definitely say the Soul Mom 2, because in this collection they also released those blushes, the highlighters. They did do the eyeliners. I would not tell you to check those out, but otherwise everything else in this collection is beautiful. This is my favorite matte formula that they have released. The shimmer formula isn't as just excellent as are in these palettes, but fantastic matte formula here. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. This was quite a lengthy video, but I hope it was helpful for anybody who was interested in knowing my particular recommendations, things that I would say check these out next year or potentially right now. You know, everybody's doing a sale, so I'm sure you could get something on sale, but that's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one, which will be tomorrow. And I do believe tomorrow is my last upload for like Swagmas. So I hope you guys enjoyed Swagmas in all of its glory. There are a couple other videos that I would have loved to throw into Swagmas this year. It just didn't happen, but I can always showcase them in January. So we shall see. Hopefully that happens. But with that said, I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye guys.